Hey everybody, Erica here from In the Company of Cards. Another pop-up. Wasn't really planning to be here today, but I forgot to remind you that tomorrow I'm going to be live with psychic Violetta. That's the name of her channel. She's a terrific friend. And so if you'd like to watch us live, it will be tomorrow on her channel, Psychic Violetta. I will put a link in the show notes. And it's going to be at 10 o'clock Pacific, which is 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern. Okay. So again, let me do the times. It's tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, 12 p.m. Central, and 1 p.m. Eastern. So again, I'll put it in the show notes and come with your questions because we're going to be reading cards and chatting. And I think it'll be fun. We've done it before, and I'm looking forward to being there again with her. So that's basically the point of this video is to let you know that that's coming up tomorrow. But since I'm here, I thought I would look at just a couple of issues before I leave. One is the fact that we know federal judge April Perry has told the felon that he may not deploy the troops anywhere, but certainly not in Chicago. If you are keeping track at all, I was just watching Don Lemon, who has his own YouTube and Substack. But I was just watching him. He is in Chicago, and it looks like there's quite the standoff between the people and ICE, because ICE is not anything that Judge Perry has control over. And, it's going to get dark there soon. And I just thought I would look at how things will go tonight in Chicago. There will be no uh, National Guard deployed by the felon, but his ICE goons are out there. And, we've seen in the news how they've been abusing people, masked, of course. And I just want to know how tonight's going to go. So let's see, what will I do? What will I look at? I think I'm going to use the garden, and that will stand for Chicago. And we'll just look to see how things are going to go in Chicago tonight. As I've mentioned before, that's the city that I was born in. I have family in Chicago, so, I care. All right. So again, we're going to use the garden to represent Chicago. Okay, so here's the garden. Part, sorry. Okay. So I pulled clarifiers on everything, and that's because the line that I pulled, the line of five, looks um, kind of benign, and I just wanted to know, I wanted some elaboration on that. So we have the older woman, we have the anchor, we have Chicago, the people of Chicago, the city of Chicago, we have the bouquet, and we have the moon. So Chicago is a very, I think Carl Sandburg would call it a muscular city, which is interesting that the woman card is here representing it. Um, I think that you don't have to be muscular to be powerful, and I think that this is the case here with this yin energy card. I can mirror it with the moon, which is our last card. So I think Chicago will show us who she is. Um, Again, it always feels to me like a muscular masculine place. Um, but here it is. That's how she's coming out. And uh, the anchor, I like that, and I can mirror it with the bouquet. I think that as as the energy of this whole situation that we're in moves forward, um, Chicago will give us a gift by setting an example for us, the rest of the country, in how to stand firm, how to stand your ground, just the anchor. So I pulled on everything. Um, Here we have again a sort of an iteration of Chicago. Uh, Not being violent, being being the peaceable, um, the peaceable partner in this whole thing. The clarifiers though are the clouds, the tower, and the bear. I mean, the bottom line is they are peaceful. Nothing was happening in Chicago that warranted anybody going there. Not the National Guard, not ICE. They were just minding their business. But of course, the felon, bully that he is, wants us to think otherwise. He's trying to confuse the situation, make people think that, you know, Chicago's burning, like he's saying Portland, Oregon's burning. Neither one of them is burning. And here's him and his government just swinging around the mushroom. If you know, you know. Okay. Um, they will hold fast. But I don't love this card, this yin card, because I, because I feel like this is a less empowered card than the older woman, and that um, ICE will. I think ICE will try to overwhelm the citizens of Chicago, and I say that because we have the scythe and we have the coffin. There will be violence tonight, I suspect. And I think the violence will be the violence perpetrated by ICE upon the citizens of Chicago, who are relatively defenseless. All they have is numbers. ICE has weapons. And these two cards are concerning. The scythe is the card for violence. Coffin, I don't think I need to explain to anyone what that means. So we need to send positive energy to Chicago, send strength and courage to the people there. They have it in abundance, but I think our intention should go towards them because this is not good. Okay, so Chicago and its people are right in the center, represented by the garden. This tells me there will be tons and tons of people out tonight. A lot, a lot. And coming out again at night. Star card, that's the card for night. And there will be violence. I think that the crowd will be disciplined, but I also think they will be met with ICE violence. ICE will just keep coming at them. Now, ICE is an undisciplined force. They're a bunch of, you know, wannabe tough guys, but they have weapons and they have the mandate of the felon. So I do expect that there will be violence tonight um, because they will feel overwhelmed by how many people come out. Now, I said that Chicago uh, will give us a gift. I mean, I guess, you know, it's kind of hard to see what the gift is, except what I said before. They will set an example for how to engage in nonviolent resistance. And the fact and remind us that we have the right to assemble. It's a constitutional right. So this bouquet I can clarify with the lily, the young man, and the crossroads. I think that they will be peaceable, but they will also be a force to be reckoned with. And that whatever happens tonight, and I think there could easily be casualties, I think this will turn the tide of things, turn the tide of people's awareness, turn the tide of Congress. I mean, the government has waged war on the people in an insurrectionist. Um, it's not treason because treason involves a foreign government, but what's that other word? Usually, I'm not at a loss for words, but um, it's like this internal insurrection, an insurrection from within. But again, you know, Chicago will be brave in the face of that and set an example for the rest of us. The final card in the line of five is the moon, and we have the scales, which is my card for justice. We have the house, and we have the birds. I think this will set Congress talking, even though they're not in session now, because Mikey is afraid of the Epstein files, and apparently he has reason to be. So, but people will be talking. This will be publicized worldwide, what happens tonight. Uh, I think it will show the White House to be unjust and will cause people to talk about who they really are, who's running the government, who is it, what is the identity of, and people will be talking about this. So, you hate to see people um, have to set an example to show us, what nonviolent resistance means, to show us how bad things could technically get if we don't resist. But I think tonight will be a watershed night. ICE will be scared and therefore more violent, like that cornered rat, in the corner of a kitchen that bares its teeth because it knows it's outnumbered and outflanked and about to die. I think that something could happen tonight that changes things, that shows people who this felon is and who his whatever that man, what is that little man's name? Stephen Miller is, because Stephen Miller and Russell Vogt are running this show, and it's unconstitutional. Okay, the other thing that I thought I would look at, apparently the felon got the clean bill of health that we saw him getting yesterday. Remember? I looked at the cards. I looked at it a couple of ways. I looked at him as the center card, and then I used the tree as the center card, and it was very clear that the public message would be nothing to see here except that he is the picture of health. Apparently, they say he is 14 years, his body and his mind are 14 years younger than his actual physical age. Where do they get 14 from? Like, why not 10? Why not 15? Why not 20? 14? Come on. Come on. So he has decided, of course, that he is going to go to the Middle East because he wants to sign on the dotted line this accord. Uh, we know that he will be making money from this accord, uh, thanks to his interaction with Qatar um, and Israel. And I guess, well, so I just want to know how his health will be. I just want to look again, given that he's now going on this trip. How will his health be for the duration of the trip from when he takes off to when he lands back at Andrews Air Force Base? How will his health be? And let's use the tree because I want everybody to know I'm talking about his health. Okay. And by his, in case you didn't know, I mean the felon. Okay. So we're looking for the tree, and I want to know how the felon's health will be on the during the course of this trip. I think I'll just leave it there. So we have the garden, we have the scales again, we have the tree, that's the stands for the felon's health. We have the fox, and we have the bear. So he's going to be around a lot of people. I can mirror it with the bear, puffing up his chest, showing off, being all, look what I did. You know, he wants a public forum because he didn't win the Nobel. So he thinks he's gonna, the consolation prize is that he gets to sign this phony peace accord. Um, I think that he will be traveling with specialists. This is medical specialists that will try to his keep him in homeostasis, which is to say, keep him alive and with the program. Whatever concoction of drugs and treatments they have to do, he will be traveling with specialists because I'm sure he's making this trip against doctor's orders, so they will try to be as careful as possible to maintain homeostasis for him. So here is the card in the center. This is his actual health. And we have the stork, the snake, and the lily. So he's really, he was really furious that he didn't win the prize. Stress is going to be the thing that takes him out, by the way. That's what's going to give him the cardiac event or the cerebral event. He's just going to blow a gasket. But he has had some consolation because he gets to go on this trip, but it's problematic because he is not well in any sense of the word. So part of what these specialists will be trying to do is to keep him calm, keep him steady, uh, however they do that. So here's the medical specialists trying to keep him on a regimen. Like, I don't know, sir, here it's time for your transfusion, or here, sir, it's time for you to take these pills, or sir, you need to call it a night because, we agreed to that. So this is about them sort of keeping him on a short leash to the extent that they can. Uh, and then we have the tower. He really believes that he is an island, that he is an Ubermensch. Remember, he says his genes are better than anybody else's genes, genetics are better than anybody else's genetics. He just thinks that, you know, he is impervious to the vicissitudes of being in a physical body, you know. Nothing can touch him, he thinks. Oh, but look, he can be touched. The scythe, the scythe cuts. That's not good. I mean, from him, for him. For him, it's not good. And then we have him here being this I don't think that he will be as compliant as he has promised to be in order to get the permission to go on this trip, the medical permission to go on this trip. I think that, once he's in the air, he's going to be wanting things his way. He's not going to sleep. He's not going to, he's going to want to stay up late. He's going to want to eat whatever. He's going to just be himself. And I think that for all of those that try to help him, because this is helpers. So, people doing his scheduling, this is any kind of like nurse or anything that is being attentive to him, will will find that, I mean, there's this law of diminishing returns because he's not compliant. And I'm not saying that he will meet his end. I am saying that this trip will hasten his end. So, I mean, it's coming, just like it's coming for all of us, right? So this trip will do him no good physically. Physically, it will diminish him. There's the time zone, there's food differences, there's travel and pressure in the cabin of the planes, and there's the stress of, I don't know, Netanyahu could pull out at the last minute. He has done that before. Any number of things could happen. And I just think that this trip for him is ill-advised. But if I personally were advising him, I would say, please go, enjoy yourself. Don't wear those elastic socks. Want a Coke? Burger, well done. Here's your ketchup. That's what I would say. But I am not his hired medical professionals. I just think that they will not be able to rein in this version of him. And so if it doesn't take him out, it will go some distance towards that. This feels like cognition to me as well. I mean, I don't know about you, but I mean, if you've ever traveled on a long plane flight, like I've been to Asia a couple of times, and oh my God, I needed 24 hours just to sleep, straight 24 hours. The same thing, I went to Italy and got to Rome and needed 24 hours to sleep before I could go on the rest of my journey. And my health is not nearly what his is. So I think he will be confused and could get sick. This is not just what. This is also illness. He's going to be out and about among people. COVID is a thing. There's other stuff out there, but the worm brain's not going to tell anybody that. So he puts his health at serious risk. Uh, oh well. All right. Anyway, I basically came on to let you know that if you go to Violetta's channel, um, you can see us live tomorrow. I've given the times. I will put them in the show notes and hope to see some of you there. I've read all your comments on the latest videos. Thank you so much. Somebody asked me, I thought this was kind of sweet. They said, do you realize what a wonderful community you've created? Everyone is so kind and respectful, and the questions are so thoughtful and interesting. And I'm just going to say publicly, yes, I am well aware. I am very, very grateful for this community. This is wonderful. And, you know, um, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here for each other. And, we will be here as long as it takes. All right, so tomorrow you'll see me with Violetta. I may pop on this channel later in the day, but definitely come and see us 10 Pacific, 11 Mountain, 12 Central, 1 p.m. Eastern over on Violetta's channel, Psychic Violetta. All right. See everybody soon. Take care.